Yeah, I got all the tokens and all the ticks in the Roblox Classic event. Here's all the green doors and all the lobby quests done. This event was way harder than it should have been. If you've seen me before, you might know that I also got every badge in the hunt a few months back. Well, I'll start the video off by saying this. The event was a step in the right direction. Was the event perfect and flawless? No, not even close. Was it better than the hunt? Yes. In most aspects, Roblox listened and made this event more ideal for what people wanted. I would rate this event 5 to 6 out of 10, somewhere around there. 5.5 out of 10. It could have been better, but it wasn't a downgrade. The biggest complaints with the hunt were the quantity and the quality. Roblox had 100 games, and most people did not want to have to beat 95 game quests to get all the items. So in the Classic, there are only 15 games. Now, there are many more badges than the hunt, but you don't need to get all of them to get all the items. This is a great solution in my opinion, because it allows the people who just want to get the items to get them quickly, while allowing people like me who like a grind to do it all. The quality of the in-games events improved a little bit. Some games did pretty good, but a few just did absolutely horrible. Now, since there are only 15 games, I can review each one individually. Let's start with the games I would consider did a very bad job during this event. Restaurant Tycoon 2. Oh boy, this was awful. It was so awful, I AFK'd the whole thing. After finding the 10 ticks located on the map, you need to serve 150 Classic customers to get all 5 tokens. Classic customers aren't the normal customers, so you have to wait for them to spawn in. 150 of them to spawn in. Of course, you don't need to get all 150 to get 1 or 2 tokens, but I'm getting everything here, so I have to suffer. So I had to wait and wait and wait. The Classic customers average like 1 spawning in every minute. This is not only unoriginal and boring, it's just a horrible way to go about the event. Roblox, if you're watching, do me a favor and reconsider putting Restaurant Tycoon back into any events. Livetopia. God, Livetopia's is really weird and super bad. First of all, the biggest thing that makes me dislike this one is that there's absolutely nothing classic about the event. I do some shopping and deliver some groceries. What was so 2014 about that? Is it the cruddy scooter you put me in for deliveries? Oh, by the way, you get a single token per 3 deliveries, so 15 deliveries to get all 5. Another thing, ticks are super weird in this one because they only spawn in after a specific number of deliveries, so you can't get them all without having a certain amount of deliveries done. This game and Restaurant Tycoon 2 are by far the worst ones. Toilet Tower Defense. I can't believe I had to play this one again. I really thought I was done with it after the hunt. Not only is the event here an insane grind, but it's just not original. The quote-unquote classic thing about this game is that the map you play on is Crossroads. That's it. You need to do 4 challenges which are very grindy. Then you unlock the last challenge to get the final 5th token. The reason this one sucks is because first of all I had to play this game to start, and yes I know it's optional, but it wasn't for me. And the other main reason is just because it has 0 effort put into it with an unnecessarily long grind. I get a grind if you actually put in effort to it, but there's no reason for me to grind if there's absolutely no effort. Adopt Me. Oh man. This one was the definition of a grind. After finding the 10 ticks, which I totally didn't use a YouTube tutorial for, I had to raise my very awesome teapot thing 5 times. Every time they level up, you get 1 token. So I had to raise them for like an hour and a half. In fact, I'm writing the script to read this video as I'm waiting for my teapot to grow. This was not classic or original at all. After slapping some ticks in some insanely difficult hiding spots and creating a new pet, this is all you get. Very classic. Blade Ball. Blade Ball had a really cool boss fight, which I actually really liked. I liked the admin commands being attacks and all that stuff. I thought it was pretty creative since no other game had done the admin commands as anything like that. However, what makes this event not super great is that the way you get ticks and tokens are just way too annoying. Ticks are found on the different Blade Ball maps, but the issue arises when you need that specific map to get your last one. Since about 70% of Blade Ball lobbies sweat the game all the time, they just vote for the maps that aren't included in the event because they like the minimalistic maps. However, it gets even more annoying when you're trying to get your tokens. The first one isn't too bad, but you need to complete a bunch of quests, and I mean a bunch, to get 5 tokens. The hardest quests are the ones where you need to kill other players. Lots of other players have insane abilities because they just grind so much, so they play super aggressive with their super aggressive abilities, and you rarely get a chance to actually get an elimination. Driving Empire. This one had me super excited when I loaded in and saw the old racing map, but the instant downfall comes from the insane amount of XP you need to get all the tokens. You need to farm the races over and over and over and over again to grind out XP. It's only 1 race as well, so it gets super boring, super fast. The most annoying part is, you can get double XP from doing the race multiplayer, but nobody playing this game has 2 brain cells to read that that's the case, so they do all the solo races. My suggestion, cut down the XP amount and have more racing variety. I did that race like 40 times with the double EXP Game Pass. Now I'm going to start easing out of the bad games. I was being a little vicious, so I need to lighten the mood. The rest of the events will totally vary with my opinions. Some were super fun and I had a blast, while others had some issues. Arsenal. I had super high expectations for this one since it was arguably one of the best games in the hunt. So I was super happy when I realized it was another story-based event. The map was cool, the guns were fun, and the TIX hunting was actually pretty hard and pretty fun. But the only issue with this event arises with how you get the tokens. You see, you get a token when you beat the event in different ways. One token for just beating it normally. You get another for finding all the ticks while beating it. The final 3 ways are the ones that begin to cause the pain. One of them requires to beat the quest solo. This isn't too bad, but it can take a little longer. The next one wants you to beat the game with the classic pistol, which is the starting weapon. This is insanely difficult solo. When you fight the minigun mini-bosses, the classic pistol does not do enough damage. However, there are workarounds for both of the mini-bosses for anyone struggling out there. When you face the first minigun guy, there's a vat that's discolored from the rest in the room. This is typically where you find a TIX upon entering. Using this portal to your advantage, you can shoot the boss a bunch, and when you get low on health, hide in the secret room and heal passively. Rinse and repeat and you should get past easy. Other than that, the classic pistol run is pretty hard. But nothing tops the beat the game in 12 minutes token. That is insanely hard. I do think they changed the time actually because a bunch of people complained. Either way, when I was trying to beat this in the 12 minutes, I was suffering. If you look past the insane difficulty of this event, it's actually really fun. Take out the challenges and the struggles, and the map is fun, the weapons are fun, and the enemies are really fun to fight. Bee Swarm Simulator. This is actually a classic game and a classic event, which I wish we saw more of. They did a pretty good job of making a new wave-based game mode. The only issue I had was I think that it bugged out because the bees that you owned in the normal game wouldn't come out of the hive in the new game mode. So, the randoms and I would have to rely on rental bees the whole time. I'm not sure if this is intended, but it did make for a challenge. However, I really like this game mode because there's honestly a bit of strategy behind it. Using the trials to make walls, someone farming honey, someone farming bricks. I would give it a thumbs up and a good job to Bee Swarm Simulator in this event. Speaking of wave-based events, let's talk about Bed Wars. Now, this event game mode had you defending a bed against a horde of cute little penguins. Now, this seems easy enough, but is actually insanely difficult. The only way to win this game mode is to have a really good team. You need people who play the game and already know what to do. It's also super scary when penguins get near your bed because they're 1 block tall. That means they'll dig a tunnel that's 1 block tall, and which means you can't chase after them unless you frantically dig out your own bed defense to get them. Also, the bomber penguins cause so much chaos, so get blast-proof blocks. Another tip, you can shoot supply crates with your bow so you don't have to run out into the open to slice them open. This helps get upgrades fast and safe. Find a solid team and you've got this event in the bag. Gunfight Arena. This one was okay. It had some new maps and new weapons, and the quest wants you to find the ticks and get tags with the new weapons. Simple enough. Though, the RPG and the bomb want pretty high kill amounts. What makes this funny is if you join the event really early, you could blow yourself up and the game would count this as a kill. Of course, I would never stoop so low as to do this and be as lame as that. Dress to Impress. Now, I obviously would never play this game normally, but to be honest, it was an upgrade from the Hunt version. After finding the ticks in the lobby and dressing room, you get to do a huge obby that I actually enjoyed. I think lots of people could definitely complain about the difficulty or length, but trust me, after I was losing sanity trying to speedrun Arsenal's event, I needed this change of pace. Now these next two I don't really have much to say for. They weren't amazing and they weren't awful either. Clip It just had you run around, find ticks, and record different classic characters. I did like the homage to classic games like Darkness. That game was so fun. Dragon Adventures just has you fly around and get eggs with a little point-and-click minigame. And yes, I bought the radar pass because I am extremely lazy. Tower Defense Simulator I actually really enjoyed. It's definitely an upgrade from the Hunt. What you have to do is beat 5 stages of the game. What makes this fun is you get a different tower loadout every stage. Now I personally like a good tower defense game, so I enjoyed it. Plus, they were challenging but fair. So I actually really enjoyed this one. I can see why some people might not. They might not like having to do 5 whole stages for the event. But again, that's the beauty of the event. You don't need to do everything to get all the event items. The only issue with this event that I have was that there wasn't a bunch of classic things to do. Like the other tower game, it was really only the maps that were classic. A Dusty Trip was unironically one of my favorites. Everything about this screams classic, and it was really good. You drive a classic Roblox car through a classic world, seeing classic structures. Oh my gosh, does somebody have a count for how many times I've said classic in this video? The items are all classic too. Every 2,000 meters you have a mini task. The first being a mini boss fight, second being a difficult bridge, pirates, and then the fourth one having you explore a haunted mansion. Final boss at 10,000 meters was actually really fun. And plus, since if you die in this game, you have to start all over. It gets really intense and it actually made me really nervous toward the end. Personally loved this one a bunch. I know some people will disagree and that's fine. This game's event wasn't super easy and I know some people don't like super difficult events and I understand that. But that's every game in the classic event. Do you want to know what developers I think did the best out of everyone else? The developers who made the lobby for the event. Holy crap, I loved this so much. Every original structure, bunches of original items to mess with people, a bunch of quests within the lobby like doing an old capture the flag, a cart ride around the map, character naming, go-karts, and everything. God, this lobby is literally a work of art and genius. It is a 10 out of 10, and I have zero complaints. There's quests in it. There's so many homages. It's just perfect. It's perfect. Roblox, hire whoever made this lobby to do all of them from here on out. This thing is a masterpiece, and it honestly made the whole event for me. But yeah, that's the classic Roblox event. Every token and every TIX. I mainly focused on the tokens for this video since the TIX are just small Easter egg hunts in most of the games, but I'm curious, what did you guys think about this event? Which games did you hate? Which games did you love? Comment your thoughts below, I'd love to read them. I personally think this event wasn't perfect, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. But anyways, if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. It would make my day. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Peace.